What's up guys, Conrad here with another video, and today I'd like to talk about home gyms versus commercial gyms. Which one is the better option if you had to make a choice between the two? So for many of us, the gym is our home, away from home if you will, our sanctuary, a place to blow off some steam and get away from the stresses of our day-to-day lives. For that reason, the gym can be considered rather therapeutic. Sometimes it's enough just to do some push-ups and have a cup of coffee and then you're already feeling more optimistic. Seriously, try it. But for the most part, you just need a good place with enough space where you can freely lift some heavy-ass weights. Sure, if you're more of a blue-collar worker, you might be lifting heavy objects on the daily anyway. But I guess it's not psychologically as enjoyable if you were to lift dumbbells for the purpose of getting bigger arms. When you're training with intention, then that seems to be the better way of getting those endorphins kicking in for some reason. But what is the optimal environment for this? And what kind of gym goer are you? Are you there for the training alone? Or are you there more for the social aspect, the community, the environment, and the extra benefits like saunas, swimming pools, and spin classes? Is all that even important to you? Well, your environment sets the vibe, and it can either be a benefit or a detriment to your overall feeling of motivation and how well you perform in the gym. I mean, sure, you might be in an environment with, state-of-the-art air conditioning, which helps, but so what? What matters is what you do with what you have at your disposal. So one could say, bro, just do calisthenics. You don't need a damn gym. You don't need any weight for that matter. Just use your own body weight. The earth is your gym. So during the 2020 pandemic, more and more people had no choice but to work out at home due to the gyms being closed and being instructed by the government to stay home. And so we had to either make the most with what we had or purchase our own equipment and weights online. This would often be overpriced and sell out rather fast, especially on eBay. It really was desperate times and people were taking more drastic measures just to get that pump. The more equipment you were able to collect, the more authentic gym experience you could create at home. In a weird way, having a gym at home could be a bit of a flex on social media, because of course the whole process isn't exactly cheap. When you have no way to train, you start feeling lethargic and helpless. So the home gym was becoming more and more the thing that people started considering, and also perhaps make them question, do I still really need a gym membership? So unless you're living in a Hollywood mansion and you're able to have a fully decked out home gym, for the most part, you're obviously not going to have as much space at your disposal. So your home gym setup needs to be very efficient. All you really need are the bare essentials. Anything else is an added bonus. A home gym is different for everyone. Perhaps you live in a studio apartment where the weights, accessories and mats are in the general living area, or perhaps in your room, or as the case is with me, in the garage. Basically extra space that's technically not inside your home. If I had more room, I would maybe also add a cable machine, perhaps also a preacher curl bench. But in any case, whatever particular exercise I can't really do at home, I will just do at the regular gym. The equipment doesn't have to be particularly fancy or high-tech, just merely functional. Weight is weight, no matter how well it is packaged or presented. However, when it comes to things like squat racks and benches that can have moving or adjustable components, you don't really want to go too cheap with them. Make sure they're of good quality and sturdy. You don't want to have an unpleasant accident because essentially you're trusting that piece of equipment not to malfunction whilst you're in a somewhat vulnerable position, whilst handling some potentially heavy weight. So if you have an adjustable bench, there are no shortage of exercises you can do with dumbbells or a barbell. You're pretty much halfway there. It's also good to have some soft, spongy mats on the floor. This is ideal when you're putting weights down, as well as for when you want to lie down and do some crunches. A home gym and a garage can be a bit rough around the edges, but sometimes it's good to have a bit more of a gritty, no-nonsense atmosphere. You can also play the music that you want to hear out loud, or perhaps podcasts or deeper spiritual content, which makes the workout feel much more meaningful. So you can gain some knowledge and muscles at the same time. Much more preferable as opposed to the typical pop music they usually play in modern gyms. And yeah, technically you could just be using headphones, but in essence, it's just you and the weights and your music in your personal space. It's beautiful. If you're someone who's a bit more introverted and likes to keep to themselves, well, this is an ideal setup. Some people, not really interested in small talk with other gym goers. They're not there to waste time. They're there to train, keep focused, and get in and get out. And that's it. But of course, a benefit of having other people around is having someone that can spot you when you're going heavy or you're doing a bench press. Because if you're by yourself attempting a personal record on the bench, then you better pray to God that the last heavy rep doesn't injure you or worse. But anyway, a regular gym environment is a good place to potentially make new friends who have a similar passion for fitness, so I'm definitely not knocking that. So to some people, a home gym might feel a bit isolating, like it's just me and the weights and no one else, so therefore no distractions. Perhaps some would find this setup to be rather boring. Well, since when was training meant to be fun in the first place? So you gotta make it more dynamic. Mix it up. Perhaps, adding some boxing training in there as well. Some people like to socialize with everyone and chit chat here and there. I mean, nothing wrong with that. Maybe you are a Mr. Personality. Some people like to go in with, groups to the gym with their boys, and so it becomes more like a social gathering. You train together as well as motivate each other. But at the same time, I understand the people who like to keep to themselves and not be around crowds of random people. The gym pretty much attracts a mix of everyone, and you might not feel comfortable being around certain energies or random personalities that are not exactly operating on your frequency. You got the entire community all in one area trying to improve themselves for different reasons. I suppose you could see your entire gym community as a big family, as corny as that sounds. Definitely something that health clubs love to put on their social media. I just see it more as an area that is for the benefit of the public, and I'm just here to do what I need to do. So if you're in need of a personal trainer or someone to monitor your progress and training regimen, obviously the regular gym is an optimal environment for that. But perhaps you don't want a PT and don't particularly like getting approached by them when they inevitably critique your form. Well, home gyms are a great way for getting away from all of that. But remember to train with good form regardless. When a man is on his grind and focus and is on his mission, of course he's not going to want too many distractions. But when you've got an Instagram model doing thrusting exercises or yoga poses or squats right next to you, well, you might be tempted to glance for a second and hopefully not get caught or even filmed on camera. Now, I personally don't really have any issues with this. I just do my thing and they do their thing, and it is what it is. Keep it moving. I know my place in this environment. It's more so the more cute, normal, approachable looking girls that somehow can be a bit more distracting. Because then it's like, okay, I suppose I could perhaps start a conversation with her. I mean, she seems like she could be a nice person. But if for whatever reason I say something and it doesn't come across the way I would have hoped, then it can be a minor inconvenience when you inevitably see that person around again. So with the commercial gym, there are no shortage of machines and equipment, unless it gets crowded, of course, which isn't ideal. It can be damn expensive if you want to own them personally. At the home gym, you're more likely to be a bit limited, but as long as you're working the core muscle groups, then you're pretty much fine. But with the added machinery, you're a bit more free to work different areas of those muscle groups in more alternative and sophisticated ways. I don't have a machine that allows to do, cable flies. So instead, I can do the dumbbell flies on a bench. So you're not as limited as you might think. Personally, I'm not going to go out of my way to try and purchase expensive machines, such as a leg press or a leg extension or lat pull down, when I can just squat or use a pull-up bar installed on my bedroom door. When it comes to things like squats or deadlifts, I usually prefer to do them at home, mainly because I do take my time with them. So at home, you also have more time to rest in between sets. For example, the bench press. As this is a popular exercise, inevitably, many gym goers will await their turn to use that bench. They might be like, hey bro, you done with that bench yet? Or, how many sets you got left? When you only just started. And so that brings me to another benefit in regards to home gyms, and that is time. Time is absolutely on your side in various ways. First of all, it's the commute. There is none. Barely. You have less excuses in regards to not feeling like going to the gym because it's literally right next to you. You could go before and after work with basically less reasons not to. And it just makes it much more convenient and it saves a lot of time so that you can go and do other things. It's the damn commute that often holds us back. Like, do I really have to get on the train or on the bus or in the car just to go to a place to work out and hopefully see a little bit of progress when I should really be resting for work tomorrow? And then there's the commute all the way back home. And sometimes it isn't always pleasant if you're finishing late at night and you have to use public transport. At home, you can spend as little or as long as you want, and then just walk back to your computer, or work or watch videos or whatever it is you like to do. You're not making a big day out of it, like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym and I need to sign in with reception, then go to the changing room, then get changed. When you're training at home, it's like, yeah, I'm just training, and I don't feel the need to make a post about it on social media and let everyone know that I'm in the gym. Another thing is, if the weather is terrible outside, you can just train at home. No need to be soaking wet, and no better feeling than that, really. It's more of a routine that's just part of your day, and it makes the consistency a bit easier. And so it's a smoother process to stick with your organized, busy schedule. But if you happen to live right next to a regular gym within walking distance, then consider yourself very lucky, because many of us are actually tired after work. So what else do you save with a home gym? Money. Sure, there is a cost for everything up front, but then you're pretty much set for life. It's done. And that in itself is quite a nice feeling. You don't have to deal with paying for a subscription or membership every month and having to deal with the gym salespeople constantly calling and trying to persuade you to sign up for a full membership, until you eventually give in, of course. But again, unless you live in a mansion, you probably don't have access to a large swimming pool or a sauna or a jacuzzi. Or maybe you do, I don't know who's watching. And yeah, it's a nice way to relax after training. You'll see the same people who only go to the gym area, And then there's the people who only go to the spa area. And the same guys you see in the sauna are the same individuals every time. It's like they live in the sauna. And I don't even go to the spa particularly often. Many gyms would have some kind of bar or food area where you can get a protein shake. If the food happens to be healthy, then that's a blessing. If it's just pizzas or burgers and that's the only option on the menu, it's like, what's the point? Otherwise, I guess you just got to stick with your local supermarket and make the food your own damn self. So I probably sound like I'm against commercial gyms, but I'm really not. They are designed to be appealing to the vast majority of people, and your home gym is more catered towards your own needs. And each gym has their own unique atmosphere. Some are more old school bodybuilding gyms with classic older machinery, and others are more modern and mainstream with yoga classes and super high-tech equipment with large open spaces. So all in all, a home gym is better for convenience and a commercial gym is better for the experience. Sometimes it's good to be able to mix both in order to make your week feel a bit more complete, shall we say. Because sometimes not leaving the house at all for long periods of time isn't the best for your mental health. But if you're on your purpose and have that tunnel vision and you're a complete savage who doesn't want anything to lead you astray, then the home gym is where it's at. You can literally just train for 10 minutes and be done. Back to business. After a few squats or reps, you're ready to take on the day at your own pace. And so with that being said, hopefully you found this video interesting. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.